And what had happened, millimeter by millimeter, month after month, tiny, tiny bits of the bone flap or skull that they had replaced with all the titanium screws had been sinking. Well, they knew there was a deficit there, and y'all had seen the deficit. The doctors knew that was there, but to feel that bone flap was like feeling your skull. It was just there. It wasn't floating around. So this, as we find after 15 seconds that this bone flap had sunk, I said, how many millimeters has it sunk? He goes, no. He goes, it's sunk inches, and it's crushing her brain, and it's shutting her vision, her speech, her mobility, shutting her down. Now this is in 15 seconds. So Kate and I, like, we know she's going to be solved. We know we're going to pull that bone flap. So our, like, little kids, I'm like, they go, one of her screws are loose. I go, all of her screws are loose. And so Kate and I, we're celebrating because we know they finally detected what was the issue. And once we took that pressure off, we knew she was going to be cured. We just knew. We were that confident. So when I made the comment about all of her screws are loose, I wasn't real popular with the neurological team, but either way, we knew that she was cured. And this is the day after, or second day after. Now, folks, there's about 150 to 200 staples there. They pulled her skull out, bone flap. They put a plastic plate in, like Kevlar material, very strong.
They put it in, they did that surgery 3 days after we met with the doctors. And I remember saying that day, take my skull out now, you know, like do it now. And they said, no, preparation, etc., 3 days.
I think her words were, I want a new head. Can you just put the new head in today? The doctors go, no, you two kids go back to Denver, and we'll set it up in a week or two. She goes, no, we're staying here. 72 hours later, they gave her a new head. This time they didn't use screws, they used a plastic like a cement. And took the pressure off, folks, and I'm not exaggerating about what the pressure can do on someone's brain. Is 24 hours after the surgery, they did an eye test, 20/20 vision. And when you talk about how powerful the brain is, after that vision, almost immediately, Kate's speech came back. Well, they came in the next day. Kate's actually not in pain with 200 staples. We are on 11 meds. They're basically saying this is not possible. She goes, my head doesn't hurt now that you gave me the new head. They go, Kate, can you get up and walk 10 feet to the door? She says, no. Now, this is 7 of the best neurological doctors in the world. She says, no, I can't. She's still smiling. And they said, you got to get up and exercise. Kate goes, I won't walk to the door.
Well, I said, I won't, I'm half Greek. My dad was Greek, so I said, I'm not going to walk to the door. And he said, Catherine, you have to get up. You've been in a wheelchair. We have to start movement. So I got up, and I said, may I use Shawn's hand or arm for support if I need it? And I walked the whole ward.
300 feet. 300 feet and not a dry eye in the nurse ward there. And I'm all proud. I've got my new little girl, and she's got her new head. And so it was a great day for us. But, kind of wrapping up our whole feeling is what people go through. And you see it in and out of rehab is the emotional roller coaster. And we talked about the physical roller coaster, but our 3 F's was focusing on the task at hand, and that was getting her better. Mm-hmm. And faith. And, our book is not cramming God or Christianity or belief in a higher power. It's not any of that. It's just our belief that faith and our belief that God did not have our job. Our job was not over with. We had a lot of work to do. We still do. And follow through. And that was this girl that's in rehab that they asked to walk 10 or 20 feet. She says, no, I'm going to walk 100. And just always push the envelope. So as luckily with my business in lending, I had the flexibility and freedom. I could work outside the office, and I was there as much as I could with Kate and trying my best to push her. Well, I didn't have to.
And that was huge for me, and we really try to push this knowledge of this. That I remember at Spalding at my rehab hospital, I was in a hall which I have always called sort of the lockdown hall because all of us had traumatic brain injuries. And all our associates and the therapists and the doctors that know us said, you were the only one that had someone there constantly with you. I mean, he would come in after work, he'd come in when he could. I'd wake up every morning at Spalding and he was sitting in a chair with his computer on his lap. And that's huge, because when you feel alone, when you're that ill, you kind of give up.